What's up YouTube? Daniel Carmi here for a video about one of my cool redstone creations called the grass clock. It's not really a clock because the timing is random, but it is a timer. This is a good alternative to this. Well, this is a good way to get a machine that will send a pulse every long amount of time, not like a clock like this, which would send a pulse, every second or so. Because a lot of people need clocks that will send a pulse every few minutes or so, or even longer. A lot of people have used dispenser timers, which give you exactly 5 minutes. But the two problems with the dispenser timer is, first of all, if you need a random timing, the dispenser timer will not give you that because it's exactly 5 minutes every time. And also, a lot of people don't like having to reload the dispensers with trash items and want to have it fully self-functional. So this is what I came up with. It's random. It takes about 5 minutes for it to, plus or minus a few minutes. It could be 2 minutes, it can be 10 minutes for it to pulse. And these are my 3 designs. This is the final design and the best one, and these were 2 prototypes, and I'll show you all of them. This was the first design. It's 5 by 6 by 6, which equals a grand total of 180 cubic meters, so it's fairly small. The way it works is you have a grass block here, and this grass block will spread grass to this dirt block. When it spreads that grass, this bud switch will activate, and in turn activating this bud switch will pull this piston back and pull the grass block here, and extend this piston and push it out here for a new dirt block. Now, since this grass block would be underneath this stone block, the grass dies, and then when this block here, which is now dirt from here, grows grass again, the entire cycle repeats. Now it comes back, and so forth. You would get your pulse out of this iron block over here. This torch is not actually part of the system, but just to show you that it does make a pulse, I'll put this here. And just so we see the results staying, I'll put a little repeater that feeds back into itself. So to demonstrate it growing, I'm going to break this dirt and quickly replace it with grass, if I can do it fast enough. And as you can see, the 2 blocks flip. Now this grass is underneath this stone, and as you see, that torch pulsed, which kept the power here. And now, since this is under a stone block, eventually this grass is going to die, turn back into dirt, and then this grass is going to spread to this dirt, and it's going to repeat the process. Now if I break this here, you can see that it was not any tricky way to power it to convince you that it was actually flipping. Now I'm going to get this actual torch in shot while I flip it again. So look at this torch on the left on this iron block, and as you see, it pulses when I switch the blocks. Of course, now it's stuck because the block that was under here didn't have enough time under the stone brick because I forced it to update. But as you see, like it did right now, it will die eventually before this grass gets a chance to spread. But because I forced it, I actually stuck it up. But I can fix that just by replacing it like that, and that would have pulsed again. So this is fairly big, but not that big. Then I made design 2, which was actually a failed design, which was a little bit smaller it was 1 dimension smaller, 4 by 6 by 6. 6 times 6 is 36, times 4 is 144. Here's 6 times 6, 36, times 5, 180. So this is a different way that it works. This will exchange live grass with dirt by switching the actual blocks. Here it exchanges them by actually killing the grass. So as you can see here, it's actually jammed up, but I can fix it up. So this is the default position. Now what happens, by the way, these iron block shows where you extract the output. This torch here is not part of the machine, that's just the torch that would pulse. So when this grass spreads to this dirt, it'll trigger this bud switch, which will in turn, like as you just saw, that was actually pretty good timing, which will extend this piston and push a stone block over this grass. Now when it suffocates the grass and the dirt dies, it's going to retract the piston and repeat the cycle, and every time the piston retracts, it sends a pulse over here. But for sake of video time, and this is a failed attempt, so this doesn't work, but the mechanism works, just the pulsing doesn't work yet. But this is a failed design, so I'm not going to bother working on it. And here's my final design. It's much more compact. It's only 4x4, which is 16 times 5, which is 80. And this worked flawlessly. Now, as you can see, it works the same idea as this one, to just suffocate the same grass block. But instead of pulling the stone over the grass, in this case we pull the grass under the stone. So when this grass spreads to this dirt, the grass will trigger this bud switch, and that bud switch will retract this sticky piston and pulling the grass block under this stone block. When this grass suffocates, it pushes it back out as a dirt block as it is now, and it spreads and repeats. And every time this suffocates and it pushes it back out, that's when you get the pulse. You don't get, it's not a 2-time pulse. It only pulses every other phase in order to keep the delay much longer, because this is supposed to be a long delay. So I'm gonna pretend that it grows by quickly breaking this dirt and replacing it. And as you see, it retracted it under this stone block, and when this stone block suffocates the grass, it's gonna push it back out, and as you saw, the torch pulsed. Obviously, that was much slower, but usually the long part is actually waiting for the grass to spread to the dirt, not waiting for the dirt to suffocate. I'll show you again if you didn't see, quick proof that it actually does pulse. As you see, when I replace it, it comes under, and it didn't pulse, or else this would be on. And then when the grass suffocates, it pulses, and thus it leaves this on. By the way, guys, if you didn't know, if you take a repeater and loop it back to itself and then power it and unpower it, it stays powered, which is a good indicator to show people if something has pulsed or not. So that's what I use. So this is really compact and completely stable, and also it's lag or minimal lag. Like for example, not that I'm saying anything against Kiershar, I mean he's a great redstoner, but his piston tape long delay timer, one problem with that is that it has a lot of pistons extending and retracting, and for people with not as good computers, that could cause a lot of lag. This, in the 2 phases, only 2 pistons are retracting, and it happens once every like 5 minutes with all of these. So it's practically no lag causing, unless running your Minecraft on like Windows 95, which I highly doubt. So this is very good and efficient at what it does. Of course, this is where you extract the power. It took me a while to get this so compact. This block here and this block here are needed. You can't take them away even though it looks like they're not doing anything. This block is actually sending diagonal power to the bud switch, and this block is the block that suffocates the grass. If you realize with these 2 machines, I actually counted 1 block above, and that's because there's redstone here, and I also counted the redstone here as a block, and I counted this block down here and these blocks down there, because you need to count the blocks that the redstone is placed on, because if those blocks aren't there, it's gonna not be able to place the stuff there. So I'm gonna make a tutorial for my final design, so stick around if you want to see how to make this. If not, please like the video if you like it, and if you don't like the video, dislike it, and please tell me a comment why you disliked it and how I can improve for next video. So assuming that you don't want to watch the redstone tutorial, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. But if you want to watch the tutorial, stick around. Alright, so here's the tutorial for it. I'm going to build it floating in the air so you can get a full 360 degree view when I build it. I'm constantly going to go back and forth between these two so you can really get a good view of how it's made. So the first step is to make a T Tetris piece, I call it, which looks exactly like this. and then you go diagonally in this direction, as you can see over there, and put another block. Now on these blocks here, on the diagonal block, you put a redstone torch. On these 3 blocks here, you put wire. Let me just switch it to daytime. And on the block empty, you put a repeater, but it has to be, as you can see here, on full delay, or else this will probably not work. I actually haven't tested it without it yet. So here is the first layer done. Now comes time for the second layer. The second layer is probably the easiest layer of all. All you need to do is put a block here and a block there, and I'll show you how to do that. Really, really simple. A block here and a block there. This block is going to be where you extract your output from. So if you want, you can put a torch there, because that's going to be your output. And you need to put a redstone dust on top of that block over there. Now we've actually finished already half of it. As you can see, it's a very simple machine. Now here comes the third layer, which is the most complicated layer. So you're going to start with going on top of the output block, make a Tetris piece L, and then make another Tetris piece L over here. And I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. I find using Tetris piece slang, whatever, is really good for explaining, because it describes the shape and we all know exactly what a Tetris piece looks like. So it's really simple. So of course you have an L over here, and then you turn 90 degrees to your left and you have another L joined by this edge over here. Now you put your redstone on this block, and this block, leaving a space here. This block, and this block, leaving a space there. Then you go over here and, aiming this direction, you put a repeater on the second to last delay, and you put a repeater here on the first delay. So now it looks like this. Now you have to go all the way over here and put a glowstone here. This glowstone isn't mandatory, but it'll provide sufficient lighting for the grass to spread even during nighttime. Then you put a grass block here. You can either put a dirt and build it around the surface, or a dirt ladder to get grass here, or as I would do it, use silk touch. Now put a sticky piston facing this grass block that you put before, and then on the glowstone put a sticky piston facing the other direction with a block on top. And as you can see, this piston extends, which means that they're pretty close to each other. And you put your dirt over here. Now to finish it off, you have to put 2 more blocks. This block over here, this block over here, and it's done. So as you can see, it looks exactly like that one over there. And to show you again how it pulses, I'm going to show you that this works. So I'm going to build a quick redstone indicator. So I'm going to again switch these blocks really fast. And I think we did something wrong. Wait 1 second, let me check. Do we put a redstone there and there? Oh, we forgot one thing. You need to put a torch over here. Alright, there we go. See, I forgot that torch over there. That's what allows it to pulse. So let me just break that. And when the dirt suffocates, it'll pulse and it leaves this on. Let me reset that. When the grass grows, I forgot, I didn't replace that in time. Wait 1 second. Alright, so the grass, imagine the grass grew. Let me just reset this. The grass grew and it doesn't pulse, and when the grass grows, I'll just update it. I am failing terribly at this. Okay. Last try, or else you just have to believe me that it works like that. When the grass grows from here, it pulls it back and it doesn't pulse. So that works well. And then when the grass dies, it actually did pulse, but I misplaced the block. But it pulses and leaves this on. So thank you guys for watching. This is a really nice way to make a semi-random timer that provides very little lag, and it pulses in a fairly slow fashion. I like this because you are using properties of grass, which is meant to basically make the world realistic in a very unique way to actually build redstone timers. So thank you guys for watching. As I said before, if you like this video, like it, and if you don't like this video, dislike it and leave a comment telling me why and how I can improve. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to, favorite if you want to, and I will see you next time. Bye.